Hello everybody, how's it going today? Glowplasma here to about Kagurabachi Chapter number 103. Wow, this chapter is titled Healing. It feels so weird, dude. This has been just so long since I've done it, but hey, we're back. We're talking about Kagurabachi. As many of you may know, as the time this video is being released, chapter number 108 of Kagurabachi has already come out. And yeah, it's been 2 months since I last talked about Kagurabachi. I really don't get into all of the nitty-gritty around it and all of that various stuff, but just to briefly sum it up, I live at college. I had to go home. I had no microphone. I bought microphone, but never ended up recording any Kagurabachi videos. And that gets us here to today with me sitting back in front of a microphone that I normally record my Kagurabachi videos at, recording a video on Kagurabachi chapter number 103. This chapter is titled Healing. And I was honestly really disappointed I did not get to talk about this chapter of Kagurabachi whenever it came out, because this chapter just has so much fun around it, so many memes that were made of oh my gosh, this sword getting pointed at Samura, it looks like a gun, wow, that's so funny and cool. But also the big reveal of hey, vitality is really the more major weapon of the Shinichi, and of course, how else do you get rid of vitality? By burning it alive, pretty much, as that's how this chapter sort of goes through and gets done. So yeah, I'm just so excited to talk about this chapter briefly, because I knew I needed it in getting back to hey, what happened last time in Kagurabachi? Yura descended to the sky and started to fight both Chihiro and Samura. Samura, who now has his eyes open, and this is the first battle that he's fought with them open, was oh no, what's everything going on here? And Shiba pretty much had to say hey, focus on the enemy. And of course, we had this great narrator that came through and pretty much said hey, Chihiro's here trying to fight Yura, and Samura sees this and bolsters him with the power of Suzaku. And yeah, let's just hop into this chapter. Again, chapter number 103, titled Healing. I wonder what healing factor is. Oh wow, Suzaku, right? But we open up this chapter, of course, with the Inten slicing through, or at least trying to slice through. It it and the sheaf of the Shinichi are clashing together, right? It's oh, a minor battle pretty much. But they're sort of going through, and of course Samura's in the background using Suzaku not only heal up himself, but some other things. And Yura pretty much slashes Chihiro away, and Chihiro's move back, as Yura's just oh, this ends here, you say? No. Today, it finally begins, as we see as Yura just comes through and just points the end of the Shinichi at Chihiro. As Chihiro gets ready, the black Kuro goldfish swimming around him, as we just see Yura's dragonfly. And of course, what would happen but the dragonfly pretty much shoots out of the end of the blade, and it just impacts on Chihiro as he flies all the way back into, he breaks through a glass wall of a building pretty much, and tumbles around all the way on the inside. But of course, as he's flying through, we see a crow feather is behind him, and of course, Samura comes in the way and is able to teleport there using crow, and pretty much hey, Chihiro, I'm here, everything's going to be okay. As Samura just thinks hey, Yura isn't contracted to the blade. He's only commanding the power of the Shinichi indirectly. If I kill him, at least it resolves this battle. The Shinichi and Swordmaster are another matter. As pretty much Yura is now heading back towards where Chihiro and Samura are, but Chihiro, of course with the flames of Suzaku, comes back and collides blades with Yura once more. A crow feather flies behind Yura as Samura teleports as well, swinging his blade down on Yura's neck. But Yura, dodges out of the way. My man just falls on the ground. As we see that he also takes the blade and, tries to slash at Samura's neck. Bro, there's a scabbard there. What are we thinking, right? But as Chihiro sees all of this, he just thinks hey, Yura's always had great reflexes, but this is something else entirely. Of course, Chihiro does know this from the time at the Rakuzaichi where he interacted with Yura, one of the best chapters of the series in my opinion, where it's hey, Chihiro, just so you know, I killed your father, pretty much, right? But as all of this happens, we see that the wound on Yura's arm starts to heal up all of a sudden, as Chihiro thinks oh my, it's almost as if his wounds heal automatically. As we now get the narration explaining the Magatsumi. The Magatsumi Enchanted Blade affects vitality, stealing it from others, giving it to its master. Its powers elevate all activities associated with vitality. As all of a sudden, just from the bottom of the blade, where it's sheathed in the scabbard, this ooze, almost like plant matter, starts to ooze out of the bottom of it, cloaking the hand where Yura is holding it pretty much, as a mass explosion just rips through this building, going through multiple floors. Like here it looks like at least 5 floors, but it could be more, it could be less, to where Yura and Chihiro explode out of the top of the building. Samura is also there using the EI White Purity style, getting ready to attack Yura. Chihiro flames to Suzaku, healing him up here in the moment. And Yura, his vitality, his healing factor, just like how he's moving around, is boosted by the power of the sprouted Magatsumi. As Chihiro just thinks, Yura doesn't seem to be in agony like Yura was, and he's using powers not seen then. He's getting closer and closer. Apparently he can't unsheath it, but to what extent can he use its powers? And Samura then just starts using his ears to hear everything around him, as he just hears the flashing in and out of course, Shiba going and collecting people, saving them. As Samura just thinks, at this scale, even with Shiba evacuating people as fast as possible, it's only a matter of time before there are casualties. As Samura now yells out to Chihiro at the moment as the two of them are rushing towards Yura, "Hey, let's wrap this up quickly!" But of course, in this moment, Yura has a countermeasure. He points at the ground right next to Samura and Chihiro and declares the word spider. And of course, Chihiro remembers this spider, the immobilization power of the Shinuchi, as we see such a cool panel of this massive spider web sprouting out around the building where all of our characters currently are. And if this is the same building which they exploded to earlier, which I'm guessing it is. Let me count how many floors we got. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. It looks like we have at least 12 known floors. I would guess probably this building's, I don't know, maybe 14 floors plus the roof probably. And from the way we see the spider is almost angled here at the moment, I am guessing that Chihiro and Samura are probably on the 12th floor is what I'm going to say. But yeah, it's still, from at the bottom of the building to exploding up to the 12th floor, that's a lot of stories, man. These characters just elevate and their heights changing rapidly, man. I don't know what I'm saying at this point. But either way, narration just then says, "But with both opponents cloaked in the flames of mercy, the effect is nullified in less than a second." Of course, Suzaku is making sure that the spider cannot immobilize our heroes, right? But in this time, Yura's "Oh, don't worry, that's plenty of time." As Yura goes and points the hill at Samura and declares the words dragonfly, as of course, this now just kicks Samura out of this building even more. And now we have another look at this building, and you know what, it actually looks like they're on a lower floor than I initially thought. Maybe they're on the 10th floor. Yeah, let's say they're on the 10th floor. That would work pretty well, right? But the dragonfly knocks Samura back, and it knocks him all the way back crazy enough into a subway train in a station pretty much. And Yura just follows him all the way there to hit him with another dragonfly in this moment. And as I mentioned earlier in the video, this is the gun panel that a lot of people have been referencing as pretty much on here on the top of page 11, as it literally just looks like there's a gun pointed at Samura. It's legitimately really funny. But Samura here in the moment is just looking all around him, as there is a bunch of people just behind Samura, regular civilians. And as Samura is scanning around, he eventually sees Shiba, who is appeared in a window of one of the vehicles, and he's just "Hey, I emptied out that car, hurry up and finish him." As all of a sudden, a bunch of crow feathers start to sprout out from around Samura, and this leaves Yura very, very confused. He's what's going on here? Tobimune's power, the flames of universal mercy, are originally intended to heal its master, but with Samura's true realm, he has the ability to apply them even to objects. As of course, what this narration is trying to get across is the whole idea that Samura can use his crow to affect others as well, as the entire train car just gets enveloped in all of these feathers, as Samura just says, "Crow," as poof, it just disappears. And up in the sky above Tokyo here, we now see Samura, a hole in his chest from where Yura fired off the dragonfly. As Yura even just thinks hey, he was worrying about all of the civilians and took that dragonfly full on. As he just thinks, well, that's your weakness, Samura. You can't perform great feats without making sacrifices. As here, high up in the sky, we see the beginning of a centipede starting to form around the area. But as we now cut into the train car, we see that, of course, Yura is getting ready to use Centipede to chop Samura straight in half. But of course, it wouldn't be that easy. In the back of the car lies a goldfish, a black Kuro goldfish, as Chihiro appears in its place and just says, "I'll show you." The whole point of the enchanted blades is to save lives. As Chihiro just thinks, they've provided me with an isolated arena in the sky. I can't let him go back down there. And as Yura declares centipede, Chihiro holds out his sword, Nishiki cloaking the blade. As next thing we know, Chihiro's right up next to Samura. Bloodied, beaten completely, he took that centipede head on. As Yura even just says, you sacrificed your own flesh and staked everything on that strike, with enough force to penetrate my centipede. But you missed my internal organs. You lost your wager. As Chihiro says, no, the wager comes next. And he looks down to Samura saying, "Mr. Samura, your firepower." As Samura looks up as Chihiro's body starts to be set ablaze. But also, so does Yura's. As Yura's like, why me too? As we get a little narration explaining, Suzaku's power is healing. Not just injuries, it targets all irregularities in the body. Yura is wielding powers that are not his own. If the internal powers he's channeling amount to physical abnormality, as we just see Yura's eyes glazing over and a little bit of the black pupils of the Shinichi start to disappear, as Chihiro here in the moment is thinking, it's working. They'll burn him up and sever Yura and the Shinichi, as he just yells out, "Let's go!" as the two of them are flaming into sky and falling to the ground. And that's where we end this chapter of Kagurabachi, chapter number 103. At the end of the day, this is a really cool chapter of Kagurabachi. I love the whole idea, as I mentioned at the top of the video, of burning, like, Yura alive. It's, like, such a weird but cool thing, if you know what I'm saying. Like, the whole idea of, like, yeah, we'll sever not only himself and the Shinichi, because, like, Yura is not dying here. He's, like, the second big main bad guy. I mean, he is the leader of the bad guy organization, pretty much. And, I mean, there has not even been, like, a single Hishaku member taken out yet. So it makes no sense for, at this point in the story, Yura to be completely taken out. So, of course, we know what's happening in the more recent stories. I mean, there are 5 more chapters beyond this point, pretty much. But at the end of the day, just a great chapter of Kagurabachi. I really loved seeing all of the movements that Samura ends up doing in this chapter, from, like, consistently cloaking everybody with Suzaku, to also just going through and, like, trying to attack, but Yura's just one step ahead, to eventually the great moment of cloaking the train in darkness, and then just, like, popping it into sky. And you know what that means? He gets very mortally wounded, but of course he's got Suzaku, so he can come back at the end of the day. Just a great little sequence of events, and really, that's all I got to say about this chapter. It was a good and fun one, and I can't wait to see what we get next time in Kagurabachi chapter number 104. If you did enjoy this video, my name is Glowplasma or Corbin. I make plenty of Kagurabachi content. Whenever I'm on it, there will be more Kagurabachi videos coming soon. Not only chapter reviews, but also a few other, like, fun type videos, but I will put out more announcements about those whenever we get to them. And yeah, if you did enjoy this video, maybe you wouldn't mind liking the video, subscribing, doing any of that really cool stuff. And yeah, I will catch you guys next time for Kagurabachi chapter number 104. Again, this is 103, titled Healing, and I will catch you guys next time. This will be Glowplasma 231, signing out.